The film's lead actors, theater veteran Robert Shaw and young Hollywood hotshots Richard Dreyfuss and Roy Scheider, are crammed into a too small boat, entirely at the mercy of foul weather and a faulty mechanical co-star. Alcohol flows, egos collide, and tempers flare on a chaotic voyage that just might lead to cinematic magic if it doesn't sink them all. The Shark is Broken stars two-time Tony Award nominee Alex Brightman as Richard Dreyfuss. Oh, you've heard of him. Colin Donnell as Roy Scheider and co-writer Ian. Yes. And co-writer Ian Shaw, who will make his Broadway debut portraying his father, Robert Shaw, who played Quint the Shark under Jaws. After critically acclaimed runs at the Edinburgh Festival and on London's West End, The Shark is Broken begins preview performances on Tuesday, July 25th at the John Gold Theatre for a strictly limited 16-week engagement. Oh, I'm way over here. This is like the view. Hi, friends.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, everybody.
All right, this is the craziest concept for a show I've ever heard of in my entire life. I'm obsessed. What's like 60 seconds? What's like the ground level? What's the pitch for The Shark is Broken?
Ian. It's behind the scenes. The three main actors in the film: Robert Shaw, my dad; Richard Dreyfuss, played by Alex Brightman; and Colin Donnell is playing Roy Scheider. So the legend is that the film was incredibly difficult to make because the shark kept breaking. Robert was drinking. There were all sorts of problems that they had. So it's an examination of three men trapped together, a bit like we were all trapped together in COVID land, and all the tensions and comedy that comes out of that.
Yeah, it's complete. Yeah, Alex, I feel like
And it's on open water in a very small boat.
all of this just sounds like a Saturday night at my apartment. So, well, I'm particularly interested in playing your father. This is such an interesting situation you find yourself in. How do you pay homage to him? How do you theatricalize it? Is it weird?
Well, it is weird, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, quite a few interviewers have pointed out that they can't think of a single example of this actually ever happening before. I don't know whether you can, but so I thought it was a terrible idea initially. It took me a lot of persuasion from my friends and family to actually begin the writing of it. Because I wanted to show my dad warts and all. You know, he was an alcoholic and but a very, very interesting character, utterly fearless. He was very outspoken. And Dreyfuss and Shaw had a sort of running feud. So yeah, it is weird, but at the same time, it actually ends up being quite a moving experience, you know?
Yeah. Very connected to him in a very meta sort of way, I would imagine.
And if you've ever seen Jaws, if you haven't, watch it. But if you haven't seen Jaws, when you come to the show, this performance is not only incredible in its own right, but it's an uncanny likeness to his dad. It's really one of those things that you need to come see. Now back to them.
Thank you so much. Colin, playing people who are real life human beings on this planet, what are the challenges that come with that?
I mean, I think there is part of it that we want to make sure that we are portraying them as they are. But the beauty of it is that, Alex has said this, we are fictionalizing, we're taking our best stab at what actually happened there. So there's a little bit of freedom in that. And, you know, being able to go and luckily there is not only all of these three men's body of work that we can go and sort of put a finger on, but we can also see plenty of interviews and see how they were off of set and out of character. And, you know, so that's been a nice touching stone to be able to ground our performances in, at least mine. I'm not going to speak for them.
No, this is very grounded.
Ditto. What's been the most difficult part of the process of putting this together? I put this to all three of you.
Well, I can speak for myself. I didn't fancy myself a claustrophobic until this show. if when you see the show or you know anything about the show, 98 to 99% of it takes place on a square that is the size of 8 pizza boxes.
This is the furthest away I've been from Alex in about
This
3
is, I
weeks.
feel like there is a gulf between all of us right now. This is like, I really feel far away from them. That experience.
I just need this right now.
Oh, okay.
Is there an agreed upon hygiene?
That's my thing.
Is there an agreed upon hygiene protocol that must be adhered to since we're all so on top of each other?
No, man, it was the 70s.
Come as you want.
That is so method of you. What do you want people to walk out of The Shark is Broken with?
Well, I mean, I think first of all they'll find it very funny. Audiences have been laughing at it because I was in the show beforehand in Canada and in London and in Scotland. Thank you for coming. And
Now come again.
Bring a friend.
So, I mean, first and foremost, I should say that I am a Jaws fan. I adore Jaws, as so many of us do. And one of the aspects that I particularly love about Jaws is the way that it shifts tone. So one minute you're laughing, the next minute you're frightened, and the next minute it's almost like an adventure. And I particularly love the sequence in the cabin where they're, showing scars, and then they're singing and bonding, and then the shark attacks. And what we try to do with the play is shift the tone of it. So people are laughing one minute, and then it drops into something slightly more profound and deeper about these 3 people as we discover more about them. And I think, so there's a whole thread of fathers and sons, and art versus commercialism, and these various themes that I think the audience get a kick out of.
And Alex, just finally, they've got 16 weeks to see this.
Yeah.
How can you guilt or threaten everybody here to make sure that they get a ticket?
$100 cash to whoever comes. Number one. You heard it. In fact, look under your seats, everybody. You think I would let you go empty-handed? No, guess not. You get 100. You get 100.
Not you.
I genuinely, not you. I genuinely think this is one of the coolest. It's certainly one of the coolest things I have ever done, and that's saying a lot, gratefully. And it really is a 90-minute thrill ride where the temperature goes from 100 and drops 20 degrees, and then it's such an exciting play that is so contained, but it feels so big and so small. And also, we need more plays on Broadway like this. We need more cool contemporary things.
We sing in it.
Yeah, we sing in it. We do. We sing in it.
I've been a wild rover for many a year.
Keep going.
And I'm something
Good, thank you.
That's it.
$200 if you come see the show.
If you want to find out the rest of the song, you gotta buy a ticket. Thank you so much for joining us at BroadwayCon, my friend.
Thank you. We start performances this Tuesday. Come see